What's up, guys? My name's Dante and thank you very much for watching another video. Today I wanted to talk about one of the gifts that comes only after we've been practicing the principles that I've suggested for a while. As more and more of these principles become habits, as we develop the skills of practicing these principles in our lives, we do receive rewards that are greater than happiness alone. Now, don't get me wrong, happiness is one of the greatest things that comes out of practicing these things and living good lives, but that's not all that comes. And that's something that I realized unexpectedly as time went on, because my pursuit was for more happiness. And if you guys have seen my other videos, you know that I started out this journey seeking more happiness in my life. But as most journeys go, we find much more along the way, and we learn much more than we originally intended to set out for. And that has been the truth for this journey as well. You see, as I said, my life was filled with bad habits and skills that were not useful in day-to-day life. And so I had to change the way I was living. I had to change the things I was doing, the people I was hanging around, and, well, mostly I had to change every part of my life, and it seems like it's really hard. But the fact is that once we start practicing one of these principles, other ones start to become a necessity, and they become easier to practice because we can see how they'll benefit our lives. And so as time went on and I started to discover that happiness was something that was coming out of these principles, I also got the next amazing gift, and that was this gift of self-confidence. And it's something that I see so many people struggle with. This fear of failure, this fear that maybe I'm not adequate. Maybe I cannot handle what's around the corner. Imagine for a moment a life where you don't have to fear what's around the corner, because you know that there's nothing that can stop you. Nothing that can stop you from being happy, nothing that can stop you from being healthy, nothing that can stop you from creating new, good relationships in our lives. Imagine that for a moment. And when I was able to do that, when I was able to imagine it just for a moment, I thought to myself that there was no better way to spend my time than to learn how to do that. Because what kind of life can we have if we're not confident in ourselves? What kind of life can we have if we are filled with fear? Fear of criticism, fear of failure. All of these things hold us back from achieving whatever it is we want in our lives. And so we need to find a way to overcome that. And so the point of today's video is to talk about self-confidence. Because for me, I could not be confident in myself because I did not think that I was a good person. In fact, I knew I wasn't a good person. How could I say honestly to someone that I thought I was a good person if I'm a liar? If I can't keep my word? If there's no humility, if I'm not able to admit when I'm wrong? If I'm not able to be teachable, if I'm not willing to try new things in my life to better it, how could I say that I'm a good person? I mean, I'm not growing, and I'm not positively affecting the lives around me. So when asked that question, I couldn't honestly say that I was a good person, and that's where I was lacking in self-confidence. There was much that I was fearful of. There is so much worry about life, what's around the corner, what's unexpected. But I can tell you right now, honestly, that can dissipate. Those fears, they can go right out the door. Those old fears, at least. Yes, new ones will come in, but that just means that we're growing. Dealing with the same old fears over and over again, it makes life unexciting. It makes us drained of energy. Imagine having to be stopped by the same thing over and over again. Of course we're not going to be confident because we can't overcome the same obstacle we've been dealing with for years of our lives. And it's different for everyone. That's why I could give you my clear example, but everyone who's struggling with this is going to have a different example. And so I'm asking you to visualize that fear, to understand whatever goal we're trying to accomplish, the reason we're not doing it, that thing that's stopping us. And imagine yourself being able to overcome that, no matter what it is. And so finally, the question is, so how do we do that? We're saying that, or I'm saying at least, that there is a way that we can be more self-confident and have an unlimited amount of courage to just go on throughout our lives. And I can tell you that it comes out of practicing these principles. And why? Because, as I said before, how could I tell someone that I was a good person and be confident in myself if I wasn't honest and humble and open-minded and willing and trying and really just trying to grow? So the point is that we practice these principles so that it doesn't become a doubt in our mind that our goal in life is try to help other people and to try to grow ourselves. And then when somebody asks me the question, do you think you're a good person? In my mind at least, I don't have to think about it because I know that my intentions throughout my day are to see where I can help the lives of other people. My intentions throughout my day are to be honest. I know that I'm following that to the best of my ability. So of course I'm confident because I have faith in these principles that if I practice them, nothing can happen to me. It's been 4 years. And what do I mean by nothing can happen to me? I have this sense I have this feeling, and it comes through practicing these principles that there is nothing that could come into my life that could stop me unless I allow it, and that is so freeing. It's so freeing to know that as I go through life, there's no obstacle that I can't overcome. There's no person, nothing, nobody can make me feel any way that I don't allow them to feel. Once again, we bring up this word empowerment. What does that mean? It's to have the power. And we take that back when we start to live good lives, when we start to build our self-confidence. There were so many things I wanted out of my life years ago when I was struggling that I never believed I could have. That changes. That changes as a result. It's compensation for the work that we put in to being uncomfortable while we're choosing to be honest in situations we don't want to be honest in. When we're choosing to practice new things and to grow. When we're choosing to admit our faults even though it's uncomfortable. Once again, I say it all the time, there's no such thing as something for nothing, but the inverse is also true. If we're putting work in, we will always get compensated for it. So when we're forcing ourselves into uncomfortability, compensation comes in self-confidence, in happiness, in growth. All of these things that are essential to living a good life. It truly is wonderful, and it's something that I have so much passion for that I needed to tell more people. I needed people to understand that it's not people who live happy lives don't get special breaks. I mean, we may look at it from the outside and point at a certain situation and say, oh, that person's just lucky. And if we want to continue to live that way, I can tell you that that is okay. But it's counterintuitive to achieving that for yourself. Because it has nothing to do with luck. It really doesn't. I mean, if you guys were able to see where I was at the lowest point in my life and how far I've become just as a result of practicing principles, you would know too that it's not luck. If I can do it, anyone can do it, and that's what I'm here to say. I'm here to encourage people to take the control back into their lives and not hope for a better life. And not wish for a better life, but to make a better life for themselves. It's not impossible, and in fact, it's very simple. Is it easy? That changes from case to case, but it is very simple. If we're forgetting what principles I'm talking about, the videos are all there. I suggest going back and looking over them again and practicing the challenge at the end of each video again and again until it becomes a habit. If you do not receive more happiness in your lives, please comment. I will be amazed because I've worked with hundreds of people, or not worked personally with hundreds of people, but I have seen hundreds of people do these things and become happier people. I have worked with 10, 20, or 30 people personally and seen them do these things and have it change their lives. I know this works for everybody. There's no discrimination to how these laws work. There's no person that's above them, and there's no person that they will not work for. So, as I said before, if you want to go back, look at the videos. Comment on this one. Tell me what you want to hear more of. I'll make a whole video based off of something that I might have said that you want more explanation on. If you guys want to hear my personal experiences, comment that down below, and I'll be sure to make a video on it. Thank you guys very much for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.